Right guys, welcome back. Happy New Year. It's the first week, January. We're going camping, hot tent camping. So this camp has been postponed for several weeks. I originally wanted to do this camp before Christmas, but for one reason or another, which I'll probably moan about later, it's been put back. So we're heading out today. Finished night this morning, into bed at 7, up at 11, and wow, I cycled back along these roads this morning in the dark. I didn't realise there was so much water. So while the rest of the UK has had snow, Essex has had more than its fair share of rain. Oh, you're an absolute tool, aren't you? So where we're going might be a little bit waterlogged, but we'll see. I just need to get out. I've been, as I said, waiting to do this for several weeks. So I'm on the Sportster, and I fitted new tyres to it last week myself. I've been fitting tyres myself for years now. Oh, absolutely freezing. I wish I put on my heated gloves. I'm only going like 10 minutes down the road, but already my hands are like blocks of ice. Right, let's see how treacherous this field actually is. Yeah, fairly slippy. So if you are coming across somewhere it's really slippy, most of you know, no throttle, all clutch. God, it's like skiing this. Oh yeah, not going any further. Look how much flooded it is over there. Definitely glad I'm on the Sportster, not the Dyna. Wow, just look at the river. Yeah. So we're not due any rain tonight, thankfully. I sort of hope this actually freezes over a bit more. But oh well, we're here now. Oh, well, we're up. Normally I'm sweating by the time I put my tent up, but it's so cold. Still got my bike jacket on, so I won't include it in the video because I don't like putting people in videos that they obviously weren't prepared to be videoed on. But while I was putting it up, a lady was walking her dog. She walked across the bridge from the car park and walked behind the tent, and I smiled at her and went to say hello. She couldn't turn her neck quick enough. I'm surprised she hasn't given herself whiplash. But you get that quite a lot when you're a biker. People just don't want to speak to you. Yeah. Sad thing is, really, see, I'm the sort of person that if she was driving along, had a flat tire and I was going by, I would stop and give her a hand to change her tire. But because it's not an environment like that, she chooses to ignore me. Her problem. Anyway, tent's all set up. Just need to put the inside out. It is absolutely freezing. The sun's come out a little bit now, but oh, it's a really bitter wind it's blowing, and I'm right in the face of it. I've come over this side thinking to be a bit more sheltered, but I've actually got the wind facing onto me. what I didn't realise was, although I'm camping at the museum where I pay to camp, I get on well with them, I work just over there, but the museum's actually shut for the whole of January. But I didn't realise, it looks like I've got contractors working, so you may hear some power tools going on in the background. The other reason that I've come over this side instead of normally I'm camping over beneath those 3 chestnut trees, but as you see there's the van over there, and that guy's a nice guy. I was talking to him actually last night while I was at work, while he's walking his dog around the field. He's actually doing security for the museum, so I think he knew I was coming to camp, and he was a little bit concerned because he's a big German Shepherd, which he's keeping on the lead. It's a beautiful thing actually. I hope we get to see it later. Okay guys, you've seen this before if you watched the channel. It must have been 92 years ago that I used this. I don't know what make this is. It's just one of these generic brands that probably made of Chinesium. I've lost the little cover thing, so I had to buy a new disc, which obviously don't fit very well. No doubt I'll find it at some point. The biggest problem I find with this stove is these well, it's not actually the stove, it's more the tent. The stove jack's in the wrong place because it's too close to the center. If it was further back, like somewhere here, it'd take it over so you could have your stove on one side, because it's sort of the center pole gets in the way, but I'm sure we'll manage. Yeah. I do have another stove. I've got, I think it's a Woodswalker one I've got, which has got the roll-up chimney, and it flat packs, which is probably a bit easier to pack. But I'll be honest with you, the first time I used it, I hadn't actually sorted out the chimney, the roll-up chimney, and I sort of banjaxed it when I was trying to roll it up in the woods. So I've got a new chimney for it, which I haven't actually even unrolled yet. But if you are going to get one of those, make sure you do a controlled burn. So say in your back garden, roll up the chimney somewhere nice and flat, like in your living room, get it into shape, and then burn it, and then with the heat it'll help, I don't know what you call it, cure it possibly, so it'll keep that shape when you unroll it again, if that makes any sense. Now you'll all have seen this cot bed loads of times by now, this FE active cot bed, but these, in my opinion, are far better than the air mattresses. I've had so many of those air mattresses that over the years, the punctures, especially when you're strapping things down tight on a bike, if you happen to have it pushing against something solid and you're pulling down on it, you just tear it, and then you get to your camp and you've got no mattress, and you end up sleeping on the floor, and it just ruins everything. And yeah, these cot beds, in my view, I definitely prefer them. And don't be disheartened when you first get them. They are quite stiff and tight to put up, but they loosen up after a few uses. So I made a waxed canvas drawstring bag to carry my quilt in, and I made one for a warm kit as well. Yeah, I bought myself a new down jacket. It's one of these like ones that pack up really small. I'll be honest, it's second hand. What was it? Ultralight down. I don't know which brand it is. It's the softy jacket I had on the last video. It's fine, but it don't compress very small, so I wanted something that just took up less space. So I'm sure I'll be putting it on quite shortly. Right guys, I know I've done a bit of a setup as we've gone along, but I'll just give you the final overview. So it's my One Tigris Rock Fortress tent. Yeah, if you've watched my video, you've seen it loads of times. I've only used it probably, I think it's probably the third time actually hot tent camping. So it's, in all reality, it's only been used now 3 times for what it's meant to be used for. It is a good tent. You don't have a ground sheet like a lot of these hot tents, so likes of today where it is quite soft underfoot, you probably want to put what I've done, like a tarpaulin in there, particularly under your sleeping area. But yeah, it is what it is, innit? No point having a ground sheet because you're probably going to put sparks on it anyway. So this stove, as I said, I don't know which make it is, it's just one of those generic ones. It don't have a spark arrestor on the top, which is not great. Yeah, so it yeah, you run the risk of putting sparks through your tent, which I have done. Now you can get, where are they? There's one there. You can get little patches, which I've got like a little packet of, because you're going to get them, unfortunately. Yep, my sissy bar bag, which I made myself. Yeah, bed, sleeping bag. You've seen it all before. Enough of that. Right, let's go and get our wood. Oh look, someone's left a bag of water and a bag of logs. I stashed these about midnight last night while I was at work, but don't tell the boss. Drone shot. Should have brought my drone actually. Actually no, I don't have room. Carrying that stove on the back, it just takes up half your space. It's ripped open. It's not very good, is it? I'm gonna have to watch that because I need that water for cooking later. Yeah, so my water carriers decided to come apart. That's not actually torn, that's say crap manufacturing, crap design. So if I strapped it up using one of my webbing cam buckle straps in the back of the bag, because I don't want it flopping over and wasting all the water, because I need that. So as I said, I stashed some wood late last night, wood I bought, rather than going chopping down stuff. Everything's soaking wet, it's soggy at this time of year anyway, so I'm absolutely gagging for a beer now. I'm just going to do a quick little bit of prep, just nothing major, just to chop some kindling, and then that'll be us set, and then we can sit down and have a beer. Well, I can sit down and have a beer, you know what I mean. Right, so note to self, don't chop wood on top of your tarp. Never mind. A bit of a black nasty tape over that. Be good to go for another 20 years. Something that's so thin, you instantly put it on and it's like you turn the central heating on. And it's nice actually, this, for because it's small enough you can almost stick in a pocket. And then if you're out on your bike, it's thin enough to wear underneath your bike jacket. Yeah, quite a good buy actually. It was 15 quid second hand off eBay. You can see how high the river's running just based on previous videos. So for those that you don't know, this is actually the river Blackwater. This is one of the main rivers that flows through Essex. So about half a mile away to the right hand side, so that way is the River Chelmer, and these two rivers converge a couple of miles downstream, and then they flow out to is it North Sea at Malden in Essex. Yeah, those trees that you can see over by the fence line, in one of the previous videos I was talking about putting a hammock up between them so you can see how far up it's actually come, and that's only come up in the last 2 or 3 days. No hammock camping tonight. Just so nice, the sound of the running water. Actually, it's recognised now as a like genuine, like sort of therapeutic value, having running water. So a lot of these sort of, I don't know, what do you call them, like sort of places you go to chill out, like not spas, but you know what I mean, like not rehab either, but you know what I mean, places where you go to relax and unwind. A lot of them have running water, like even manufactured like sort of fountains and things, because subconsciously it's just a calming thing. That's why I've actually got a pond in the garden, just so it's just nice to hear it. Although it does make you want to go to the toilet every 10 minutes when you're lying in bed at night with the window open. So lucky to have this so close at hand, and I work just over the other side there. Sparrowhawk's been at work. Talking to sparrowhawks, when I got home a few months ago from a camp here, it was early in the morning, about 7, and I looked out the kitchen window, and on the trellis out the front there was a female sparrowhawk sat just by the bird feeder. And then a few weeks ago we saw a male sat in the same place, and then since then there's been a couple of explosions of feathers, pigeon feathers, where he or she has obviously got lucky. Yeah, shame for the pigeon, but that's just nature, isn't it? So guys, these are the tires, these nice muddy tires that I fitted. Bridgestone, what are they called? Cruise Tech, I think. Yeah, I'm not, to be honest, I'm not a tire snob. I tend to just go with if any are on offer at the time. I was trying to find it. Where is it? Oh, you can't see it. If you've never fitted tires before, unless you sort of know what you're doing, don't go messing around. So, but anyway, if you do, important thing you can see there, that's basically tire soap. You need to use that because when you're trying to re-establish the bead, or even break the bead to get the old tire off, you need to put some tire soap. Don't use oil or kitchen hand soap type things, washing up liquid, because you'll just damage your wheels. Buy proper tire soap. Do it. The other thing I was hoping to try and show you, but the valves are in the wrong place. So tires now, most of them, a lot of them don't actually, but when you get them, obviously check your rotation, so you put them on the right way around. But also these tires have had like yellow like little paint spots on one part of them, and that signifies the lightest part of the tire, because when they manufacture them, they're obviously never ever going to get them 100% right. So they when they quality assure them or quality control them, they put these dots on them. So yellow dot signifies the lightest point of the tire. So what that you should be doing is getting that right beside your valve stem, because that's obviously going to be the heaviest part of the wheel when you put it all together. And if you do that, it minimises the amount of weights you need to use for balancing. I'm going to be honest with you, I did balance these and they were so close I didn't bother putting weights on, because it's a V-twin. So you're riding a V-twin or a single cylinder bike, the whole thing vibrates. So yeah, just bear that in mind. But the problem with tires now, when you ring up to get tires put on, they ask you, are you bringing the wheels or are you bringing the whole bike? And then they charge you about 200 or 300 quid just to take the wheels off the bike. So if you've got a lift at home and you're reasonably competent in what you're doing, just buy a sort of bead breaker and a couple of tire irons, and you need a compressor obviously. But if you're going to be changing tires regularly, you're going to make the money back in after 2 or 3 tire changes. Right, so no hipster beers this camp, just what was left in the fridge in the bar out the back garden. So got an old speckled hen. Cheers. Oh, best part of the camp. I haven't had a beer now in 2 weeks at least. I'm gonna say, I think I said this before, so when you don't have a beer for a long time and you have your first, that burst of flavour, that intenseness is so much heightened. I'm talking rubbish, aren't I? Sun's out and it looks like the clouds are clearing as well. I wish it could be like this all the time. Obviously not cold, warm, but blue skies. Be honest, I know it gets cold in the winter, but if I had the choice, I'd rather have it cold, frosty and dry rather than warmer and wet. It's just like now everything's just mud. It's like, so guys, as I was saying, this camp's been a bit delayed for several weeks. I wanted to get out before Christmas and do this, but work got in the way as usual. So I can't even remember, was it the week before Christmas or a couple of weeks before Christmas, I just finished a set of earlies, had a couple of days off before nights. I was going to do the nights and then come camping, and somebody went sick just before they were due to start their nights, and I ended up covering them. So I ended up doing 13 shifts on the trot, so 5 earlies and 8 nights. Yeah, I was absolutely knackered by the end of it. Like literally, I'm pretty good at getting overnights. I've done nights, well, shifts all my life, but just in the last couple of years I find it more and more difficult. It's just getting old, you know. I'm not going to lie to you folks. It is, as you get older, your body just takes longer to recover from things. It's even like fitness. I mean, I used to run 6 miles nearly every day and then go and do a day's work, and now, like, I haven't run in a few years now, but the last time I did try and run after being off it for a bit, I was in bits. Like, my back, it wasn't just my legs were sore, it was my lower back. Literally, I couldn't roll over, so you'd be lying in bed and you couldn't just twist you had to like turn your whole body. And it was annoying me because I was quite fit for quite a while, and then, I mean, I'm a foodie, you know that. I like my beer, I like my steak, but I was balancing that with running, fitness. But then when you stop doing one thing, the scales go the other way. Literally, the scales go the other way. So I was putting on a bit of weight and that. So I have actually not cut beer out, because I'm obviously sitting here with a beer, but now when I'm at home I won't have a beer in the evening or that. I'll have a glass of wine probably, but I've more or less stopped having beer at home. But what I have been doing now for the last couple of years is I got one of those elliptical cross trainers. Like, I've had them in the past, but I've just got knackered after a couple of months, but I spent quite a bit of money on one, and I'm actually really enjoying it. It's zero impact, and you get off it and you're dripping with sweat, so it does feel like you've done a proper run. yeah, it's just life, isn't it? You just make changes. So the other thing is, guys, and I don't want this to be a really negative, depressing video, because that's not what it's about. I've come out here to relax and chill, but just a bit fed up with things at the minute. Divorce is still dragging on. As I said before, this is the thing, there's no animosity, no bickering, no fighting. We're quite happy doing what we're doing. We're not arguing over money or finances or houses. I'm gonna buy Carrie out of the house, but we can't start any of the house conveyancing until the divorce is finalised. So even though we just both want to get it done, the government in their wisdom says you've got to wait 20 weeks. So nowadays, used to be, I think you had to be separated for 2 years, but now you can go apply for divorce, and if it's not contested, they go, yeah, that's fine, you can get divorced, but then you've got to sit and have a 20-week cooling off period. So what's 20 weeks? Nearly half a year, almost. So we've been sat waiting for the thing to be finalised, so then we can start doing the house thing, because at the minute we're still in the same house. We're getting on perfectly fine. There's not a problem, but that's because we're adults and we're sensible, and we said if one of us has to move out, then we're going to end up paying rent and somewhere, and rent at the minute is astronomical, particularly in this part of the country. So we just decided, yeah, we'll make the best of things, stay in the same house. You know, the thing that's really, really heartbreaking for me is I've got to say goodbye to the dog, Dolly. When I say goodbye to her, she's going to go and live with Carrie when she goes. And before anyone says, oh, you could share her, you could have joint custody, yeah, but it was my decision. See, there's two things about me. Firstly, I'm a realist, I'm not a romanticist, you know. I think about what's best for the dog, not for me. So, two people can talk and know what the plan is. She doesn't, the dog, Dolly. So she's going to wake up one morning, everything's going to be normal, and by the end of the day, she's going to be in a different house, and she'll have to get used to that. And then if we were to share her, to bring her back in a week's time, it's just going to confuse her, upset her, and then she's going to go back. You know, it's not fair on her. And if you love something that much, you make that hard choice, you know. And the other thing is, I mean, I've been accused before of being, what was it, altruistic. I didn't know what it meant at first. I thought someone was insulting me, and then I looked it up. But basically, it's you're more concerned about the needs of others than yourself. And is that a bad quality? But the thing is, I know it would break Carrie's heart as well if we were fighting over the dog and things like that. So I would never ever put my happiness before anyone else's. You know, so if you think about it, like, there's 3 hearts in the thing. There's Carrie, there's Dolly, and myself, and it's better off that just one heart gets broken rather than all 3. So yeah, I know it sounds don't, gonna set me off again, sorry guys. Yeah, I shouldn't have started talking about it because it just upsets you. Nah, the thing is, you know me, I love animals. I pay each month to the RSPCA. I've got a standing order. I just, you know, I think I prefer animals to people. That's why it's so difficult saying goodbye to them. You know, when I had to get my old cat, my old rescue cat, put to sleep a couple of years ago. God, I never had. As I was on the phone to the vet organising it, I lost it. I was apologising, and he was saying, don't worry, it's, you know, yeah, but see, the thing is, as well, and this is what was playing on my mind, and this is going to sound really stupid. So one of the rallies that I've been to last couple of years is at Scruffy Puppy Rally, and if you watch the videos, you'll have seen that as well as being a bike and trike rally, it's also about raising money for the local dogs home. So they give a prize out for the furthest travelled dog. So Dolly's obviously come in the back of my bike and won it for doing a 200-mile round trip. But obviously this year I'm not going to have her now. I've already paid to go to the rally, and the one last year, the organiser Kev, a lovely bloke actually, had asked if I would do the videoing and the photography for it, which yeah, I said I would, not a problem. But after doing it, before it even almost got home, he'd asked if I would do it again for this year coming. Of course we hadn't said we were going to divorce yet, so I said yeah, no problem. And then obviously we decided to divorce. You know, as I said, my decision to let Dolly go with Carrie, and it's sort of left me in a bit of a, well, I don't want to let someone down by saying I can't do the videoing, but if I go and video, I know I'm just gonna be in bits, especially when they come to announce like the prize for the furthest travelled dog, because I don't think there'll be another dog that's going on a bike or trike. And the thing is, I can't sort of like go for a quiet moment in my tent because I got to be there to video it. So it's so what I done was a couple of weeks ago, I texted him and said I'm really sorry, I explained what happened, and you know what, he's a proper gent, really good as gold, and said don't worry. I said look, just my tickets, just donate the money to the dog's home, and he said he's gonna leave the ticket open, so if I do want to come, I can, you know, I'm more than welcome to come. So it's, I know it sounds really silly, but in a way it's lifted a weight off my shoulders, because I know it's just it's silly little things, isn't it? Thing is, I would, you know, I say I'm giving up my dog. I'm not. I know she's going to have the best life she possibly could, and she's going to be loved, and that. It's just, you know, obviously not with me. No, I'd go and get another dog. I'd get a little rescue dog of that, but I work so many hours, you know. If my boss is watching this, if you allowed us to bring dogs to work, yeah, no, definitely, I would definitely get a little rescue. I'd love another little Chihuahua. I think they're absolute bonkers. They drive you mad with their barking. They bark at pigeons, postmen, burglars. Everything gets the same treatment, but they're such funny characters. Tell you what, I'm well chuffed with this little down jacket. I'm sat here and it is cold, like my hands are freezing, but once you put them in the pockets of this, it's like they instantly become warm. The reason I didn't buy an expensive one, because I thought, well, it's just going to get ripped, isn't it, crashing through trees and on and off of bikes and things. But yeah, I must try and find out what make this is. Whew. Right guys, change of plan. I haven't finished that beer yet. It's just got so bitter out there all of a sudden. Literally, hands. Woo. Right, so I think I'm going to start the light the stove. Get it going for an hour, a couple of hours before we think about dinner anyway. Got plenty of wood, hopefully. Smoking. So you got a couple of controls on this. You got this I don't know what you call this, like a vent thing. Is it a flue? Is it? Or is that, this is the flue? I don't know. Oh, heat. Yeah, I've just lit it and it's so it's not even going properly, and already it's quite warm in here. Oh, it's lovely. I'm hoping to get some a good burn off this wood. I think it's hardwood, probably oak or something similar. Problem is when you burn things like softwood, like pine, the resin it tends to coat the inside of the the flue or the chimney, whatever you call it, and I think it happened last time where when it cools down and you go to take it apart, it's stuck together because it acts like the resin sort of hardens. Tell you, I've said this before, but it doesn't matter where I've been in the world, whether it's been in the Sinai Desert or in the jungle in Mexico or a field in Essex. There's nothing nicer than like a proper fire. It's just so homely and comforting. It is actually, I'm not going to lie here, it's actually getting so warm that you could potentially sit in a t-shirt. I'm not going to go that far just yet, but it is definitely nice. Do you know what I should have brought? I should have got a thermometer just to show you the temperature rising. And so far, actually, because this is hardwood, there hasn't been any sparking, which may save the tent for a few more camps. You can see now, actually, you can see where I put these patches on. They're the sparks that have obviously come from and that was after only what, a couple of nights, but they were the sparks that have flown out the top, and that's from burning stuff like pine. So if you do have a choice, you better burn in hardwood. Problem is, now I've turned the heating on, I'm starting to get tired. It's just I've had what, 3 hours sleep after doing a set of nights. I think I'll be having dinner soon. So dinner for tonight is another British pub classic, ham, egg and chips. I was thinking about if I had done this camp before Christmas, of doing like some Christmassy themed. I'm glad I didn't, because I'm definitely not a Christmassy person. I'm really not. I mean, in fact, Christmas annoys me a little bit because I've spent quite a lot of Christmases by myself. You know, whether it be work or just living far away from family, and it don't bother me. If I'm honest, I quite like it. I prefer it, just, you know, but I just find it, I'm going to sound really, really ungrateful here, but it's not what, yeah, well, anyway, I just find that a lot of people go, oh, you shouldn't be alone at Christmas, you've got to come to ours. But that's, yeah, I'm grateful, that's really nice of you to offer, but you don't do it the rest of the year. You know, it's like, there's what, 350 odd days in a year, yet one day you choose to make an effort with inviting somebody over. Same with Christmas cards, isn't it? You don't stay in touch with people all year, but you feel obliged to send them a Christmas card. This year it actually worked out quite well for me, because obviously it's a bit difficult at home, because Carrie was going to her mum and dad's, and well, I don't want to go home really. I just can't be bothered doing the religious stuff. So I was working a 12-hour shift on Christmas Day, which actually, yeah, it worked out quite nicely. You know, I just find it's one of those times of year that, you know, it just exacerbates the problems that you've got. So if you're poor, Christmas makes you feel even more poor. If you're lonely, Christmas makes you feel even more lonely. You know, I just can't be bothered with it. I'd rather be like one of the hedgehogs in the garden and just curl up in a ball and hibernate until spring. So, as always, no peeling just leave skins on, cut into nice chunky chips. So they're going to go in there for well, until it boils, and just leave them boiling for a couple of minutes. Par boiling, so part boiling, not totally boiling. One of the best beers out there, an IPA, Green King. So IPA, India Pale Ale, is actually a British beer. And the history of it is, back in the colonial days when Britain ruled the seas, if you're into that, they used to obviously have troops stationed out in India. Now, back in the days before you had refrigeration or anything like that, foods and beer and that had to be specially made to survive the long journey, particularly through the really hot temperatures. So a lot of meat was salted, cured, etc. So the beer that they normally had at home back in the UK, the ales and things of the day before lagers were on the scene, they had to make them slightly different. Now, I don't know the ins and outs, you can research it if you want, but IPA was made to be transported to India, hence the India Pale Ale, and then it became a thing. So it's slightly different consistency than the normal ale that they had, and it was really popular with the troops. But then show me a squatty, it doesn't say, oh, I love beer. Yeah. Right, so these are parboiled, so I'm just going to stick them in this dish. And what we've got here, sunflower oil or vegetable oil. Just going to put almost all of that. I just need to keep a little bit just back for doing my ham and eggs. Might have to do these chips in 2 batches. Just popped out to check. It's not even 5 o'clock at night yet. Look at it. It's actually a lovely evening. It's going to be a chilly one though. If you're deep frying anything, it's important not to cram too much in, because then you're stopping the oil from getting to that surface, and then you'll get an uneven cook. And also what it does is it lowers the temperature of the oil. It's so toasty in here. I mean, I know I sound like a broken record going on about it, but it's unbelievable how it's gone from being 0 degrees to really, really pleasant. I could literally sit in here in shorts and t-shirt. I'm not, but I could. Just in case you're wondering, I don't always eat like chips and steak and things like that. This is like the same as my beer. It's my little treat when I come away to do these little camping videos, my little guilty pleasure. So would you believe it, the one of the GoPros turned off because it got too hot. It just shows how hot it actually is here. So it took a bit longer than what I was expecting to do those chips, but we're there now. So I've got a couple of gammon steaks which I cut from a roll of ham earlier. Right, I've got to try and not make a mess of these eggs. It's going to be difficult. Well, right guys, can we just give a big round of applause to the chef for not breaking the eggs, just for the presentation. So there you have it, ham, egg and chips, nice and simple, 1970s British classic. I have no idea where it's from. So I've got some vinegar. I'll tell you, I'm absolutely sweating. It's so hot in here now because I fired up the stove to get the oil hot. Do you know, it's sad to say it, but there's actually a generation now that doesn't know how to make proper homemade chips. Everything's oven chips now. You can't have chips without chip butty. That's why you always do a few extra chips. Oh, ketchup on there. So the good old chip butty. Whew, I'll tell you guys, right, that was an absolutely cracking dinner. Yeah, I know it's simple, I know it's something that you can go out and have in a pub and go, oh, so what, ham, eggs and chips, but literally when you have it out in the middle of nowhere, cooked on an open fire or on a stove, yeah, okay, you know what I mean, it just tastes so much better and you appreciate it more. And I'm not gonna lie, it's so hot in there, I've had to come outside. It was, yeah, so hot the cameras were actually turning off because of the heat. So I came outside and thought I'd have a rare cigar. Again, just a camp treat, and a drop of Bushmills Irish whiskey. Cheers. Oh, lovely. You'd think it was about 10 o'clock at night, but it's actually just gone 6 o'clock. That's just the thing with winter, getting dark so early. I'll tell you what is nice, right? So before I was saying about how hearing the sound of the river and the running water was therapeutic. What's actually even more therapeutic at the minute is hearing all the cars about 50 meters away commuting on their way home. Right guys, I was watching something on my phone there and woke up, so I'm just worn out, I think, with doing the shifts again. It's nice and warm in here actually. It's a nice heat now. It's not as ridiculously hot as when I was cooking earlier. So I've stoked up the fire, as you can see. Well, not the fire, the stove. I'm probably not going to let it burn all night, to be honest, because that'll mean waking up and having to do it every couple of hours. So I'm just going to leave it, let it burn down, and I'll see you in the morning. Night. guys. A bit chilly this morning. It's a little bit sort of overcast and grey as well. There's not much in the way of frost, a little bit of ground frost, definitely not as much as what I had in the last camp. I wasn't really cold, to be honest, and the stove went out obviously not very long after it got into the sleeping bag. I didn't sleep particularly well, I never do, but it wasn't due to a cold or anything. My inflatable pillow has died as well, so my water carrier and my pillow have both been casualties of this camp. So I'm gonna get packed up and head home. I'm in no real hurry. I sort of haven't got up early this morning, haven't got to work or anything later on, which is a bonus. So I'll get packed up. Guys, I don't know when the next camp's going to be, unfortunately. Things are just a little bit hit and miss at the minute, so hopefully it won't be too long. I do want to give my new air tent another bash. I made a canvas bag for it, which is better than that bag. I remember I was struggling to get it in on the last one, so I want to give it another run. But I'll start the camp, pack up now, and the ride home, and I'll see you in the next one. Until next time, ride often, ride safe. Just clearing out the stove, tipping the ashes out. Look what I found, the original hot plate cover thing right in the back of it. So anyway, I've got two now.